We are making something that is going to be delicious today. And I would say this is what I would call comfort food. And we're entering into the cooler fall months. And this would definitely be a dish that you're just like, oh, it's like a good warm hug inside. You're going to love it. So it's basically like a deconstructed cabbage roll, but instead of taking the time to sit there and roll each roll and stuff, no. Ain't nobody got time for that. So we're going to just do a deconstructed version. We did the deconstructed egg roll bowl, and that works out great, and that's easy. And now we're going to do this. So over here in my skillet, let me turn this up. I'm going to do 350 here. Okay, so over here in my skillet, I have 1 pound of ground beef and 1 pound of ground pork. Okay, I have found that combining the two different meats really adds flavor, and I do that in my meatloaf. I add ground beef and ground pork when I make that. So I'm going to go ahead and season up my meat that I have in here, and I'm just going to add a little garlic powder and some onion powder. If I can open the right side, just sprinkle in some onion powder, and again, just season to your liking for your family. Everybody's different. There we go. Okay, I need to start lifting weights. Oh boy, can't even open a jar. Okay, so I'm just sprinkling in some minced garlic. There we go. And then I am going to add, you know, my favorite, Tony's. So I'm going to add that in. And you know, I was just on a girls' weekend trip in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, and we were in one of their many country stores there. And my girlfriend that I was with said that she likes the Slap Your Mama seasoning better than Tony's. And I personally like Tony's better, but everybody has their own preference to their different seasonings. So you use what you like and your family enjoys, and it's going to be delicious either way. It'll be good. Okay, so I have my meat in here all cooking up. And then to that, I'm going to go ahead and chop up my onions and add those in there. Now, Ree Drummond, the Pioneer Woman, actually has a wonderful recipe for cabbage rolls. And in hers, she uses like brown sugar and stuff. Well, my family doesn't like sweet with their salty. So I'm not going to add any brown sugar to mine. I'm just going to leave ours more on the savory side. And I'm just sprinkling in my onions, and you'll notice you might just want to use 1 onion, but I like to use more onions and garlic in the fall just for the health benefits of it. So garlic and onions are very good for you. So you got to keep your immunity built up during these seasons so that you're feeling good and living your best life. So probably for some, 1 onion would be plenty. But we do enjoy onions and garlic, so I'm going to go ahead and add the 2. And I'm just really rough chopping these because it doesn't matter. It'll be good. Actually, you know what? I think I'm going to just stop at 1.5. I'm not going to cut that other half. I think that's going to be plenty good. So I'm just going to stir this up. Yeah, that's plenty. And we're going to continue to let this cook. And then if you end up getting a lot of grease from your meat, then you'll want to drain it before, once it's done. This doesn't look like there's a lot of fat in here, and I did not add any extra oil. So there's no olive oil or anything in this pan other than just the oil coming from the meat, and it's not very much. So I will not be draining it, but if you want to drain yours, you go right ahead. Okay, so we're going to let that cook. And then while that's cooking, we're going to cut up our cabbage. Now look at this, you guys. This was the head of cabbage. Really? What happened to, the heads we're used to? I don't know, man. With our produce and stuff. I don't know. Anyway, we're grateful for what we have, right? And we're going to just make the best of it. So I'm going to go ahead and, of course, because these heads were little, I'm going to use 2. But if you find a normal size head of cabbage, then you could just use 1. But I don't know. Sometimes there's things that just make you scratch your head and go, Our meat is looking more and more like it's getting cooked all the way through. And now I am going to add some crushed red pepper because we like our food spicy, as you know. So you just add in, I'm going to take this happy little lid off because I'll be here all afternoon. So you just use what your family likes as far as how hot you want your food, how spicy. And you just add whatever you think for your family, okay? And then I'm going to add a little bit of regular black pepper. I had bought some blueberries yesterday, and this morning when Randy was getting the blueberries out to put on his oatmeal this morning, he's like, oh my goodness, look at the size of these. And he comes over and he shows me, and I didn't really notice the size when I was buying them. Honey, those blueberries look like grapes. What? So blueberries that are supposed to be tiny are like this now, and cabbage heads that are supposed to look like this look like this. What's going on? You got to ask yourself. Okay, so now I am going to add in my cabbage to my meat. And all of this is going to cook down. Let me chop this one up as the cabbage wilts down. All that spice makes me want to sneeze. Okay, so I'm just putting in this cabbage here. Oops. Okay, and to the top of this cabbage, I am going to add 1 large can of Rotel tomatoes with the chilies in it, okay? So I'm just going to pour that right on top, and I'm not getting nervous here because I know that this cabbage will cook down, so all this stuff will settle into the pot, no problem. So I'm just going to kind of mix that in there. And I'll tell you what, you guys, this is one of those meals that it's even better the next day after it all sets up. And I wish you guys could smell how wonderful it smells in here with the onions, the garlic, the chilies, the tomatoes, all the goodness. Okay, so I am just going to give this a wee bit of a stir without hopefully knocking too much out. Okay. All right. Now I'm just going to put the lid on this and let this cabbage steam in here for a few minutes. I'm just going to turn this down now to like probably 300. and then just let that cabbage wilt down, and then I'll stir it all up, and it's going to be delicious. I'm going to add some chicken stock to this, and this will just help this cabbage steam up more. And then I am going to go ahead and add more Tony's. There we go. Okay, and we're just going to put the lid back on and let it continue to cook till that cabbage is tender. So let's give our cabbage a try. This smells heavenly, so good. Oh my goodness, that looks amazing. Okay, so let's put a little bit on our plate here with our yummy rice. So we want to put rice at the bottom because we didn't put it inside of our cabbage roll. And then we're literally just going to scoop this up and put it right on top of our rice. Look at that. Oh my word. And see, it just saves yourself all that trouble of rolling your cabbage rolls, but yet you get that same great flavor. And if you guys wanted to add the brown sugar and the sweeteners and stuff like that, you could, but we just kind of like it more plain. So that's why I made it this way. So let's try it. It's hot. Oh man, that is delicious, but it needs salt. So I'm adding some more salt in here. And I'm adding some more garlic powder. Once this all cooks up, then you can taste it to see like what else it might need, but you don't ever want to over salt or over spice or whatever, because you can't go back and take it away. But this needed some more salt and garlic powder. There we go. So I think that'll be really, really good. Okay, so let me put some here. And I like having the ground beef and the ground pork in here because you get two different tastes, which is really great. This is delicious. I love you guys. Go have a blessed day, and I'll see you again real soon.